Hi, welcome back to Every Note Counts. Today we're going to look at another American Vintage 2 61 Stratocaster. Let's get into it. So while I open this up, I'm just going to make a few comments about the American Vintage 2 series in general. My experience has only been with the 61 Stratocaster, and I love mine. I got it in Olympic white, and it plays well. I haven't had to do a setup. I've already nicked it a little bit, and so it's starting to get that relic going in. It sounds great. It plays easy. I'm really happy with mine. Now, there were some comments in the videos that I made about the American Vintage, specifically my Stratocaster, that the neck pocket wasn't tight enough, and I'm not concerned about how tight a neck pocket is. As long as the neck isn't shifting, that's all I'm worried about, and the neck doesn't shift on it. Those four bolts, those four giant screws, are holding the neck into that pocket, creating plenty of surface area contact between the body and the neck. Not a concern of mine. The other thing was purely an aesthetic concern, and that was the way that the rosewood neck looked on my 61 Stratocaster. So, for reference, here's my 61 Stratocaster. There's the neck gap. You can see it in there. There's the neck gap. I'm not worried about that at all. To me, that is just aesthetic and is in no way hampering the transference of vibrations or causing the neck and body to shift around away from each other. And then here is my rosewood neck that has kind of a swoosh pattern to the wood grain. Alright, just while I have it out, here's my first ding. So, it's starting to relic. I actually have no idea where that ding came from. I loaned my 61 Stratocaster out, and then I got it back. I didn't notice the ding at that point, but I was in another city showing it to my friend and my dad, actually, and then come back home, play it for a while, and notice the ding at that point. So I have no idea when that ding happened or how it happened. So are you ready to see this other 61 American Vintage 2 Strat that I purchased? Can you guess what color it is? It is also Olympic white. So here we go. We'll take a look at that. The wood is certainly darker than my first 61 Stratocaster. And this guitar looks like it's got the same neck pocket situation going on. So if you didn't like it on If you don't like that on Stratocasters, and that's a concern of yours, I now have received two guitars that both have that situation. And I still don't care. And it's perfectly fine. That's alright. Everyone has their own opinion, and everyone has their own priorities and what they care about on a guitar. My guitar, the first 61 Strat that I received, the Olympic White, had some kind of film or something that would bunch up, mill up as you rub the neck. This does not feel like it has that going on, at least not in that spot. So that might have been unique to mine in regards to just some sort of residue on there. I'm not seeing any fit and finish issues right off the bat. Frets look good. So, why is there a second Olympic white American Vintage 2 61 Stratocaster at my house. I let my dad play this one with the striped neck, and he fell in love with it. He absolutely loves it. So this one that has just arrived is going to go to my dad, and I'm happy to be able to share the joy of these guitars with him. He has a American Stevie Ray Vaughan Stratocaster from 1997, I believe. I just looked this up yesterday. I put in his guitar's serial number. So I believe his is from 1996 or 1997. I forget now. I only looked it up last night. I should have known that. But he really, really bonded with the American Vintage 2 series, and he loves this color. So this is actually going to go to my dad, and I hope he has as much fun with it as I've had with mine. I'll look through it a little bit more if there's anything worth noting. Alright, so one thing I did want to mention is that whoever strung up this guitar strung the strings on backwards. Can you see how instead of the string coming over this side and wrapping around, it's gone over that way instead of this way? So I don't know why they did that. That is not how you put strings on a guitar. So that's really, really weird. I'm gonna restring it. I seriously doubt that's Fender's fault. That's strange. But yeah, this is decked, and I like mine decked, but I don't like it with a whole lot of extra spring tension. And that thing is locked in there solid. On the one that I'm keeping, obviously that one's going to my dad because I bought it from my dad. This one, the deck is just barely up. Probably can't see that too well, but I can grab it with my pinky, and I can lift it a little bit. And that's what I like to do. I like to lift it with my pinky a little bit more than I like to use the wiggle stick, the old whammy bar. So I'm going to see if there's an extra spring or something in here. That's pretty interesting. I talked to the individual that was selling these, and he talked about doing a quarter turn change to the truss rod, and it looks like he may have decked the bridge, which is interesting. That's how I prefer it, and I doubt they sent this to him with it decked, because mine didn't come decked from the other location I bought my Stratocaster. So, all right, so on my guitar, inside that cavity, you can see I have 3 springs. They're running vertical, and then the 2 screws that advance the claws. Let's see if I can do this without dropping a whole bunch of guitars. The screws that advance the claw right here. Here's the claw right here. There's still about a pinky's worth of space where those screws meet, before the screws meet the plate, to pull the plate up to add tension here, okay? So that's what mine looks like. Now, when we look at my dad's, 3 springs, but the screws that grab this claw are advanced all the way up. So yeah, I think that this probably was done in the shop before this guitar went out. But anyway, that explains the increased tension, and the action is really low on this guitar, which, you know, is you'd expect with that being so advanced so far. Last thing to consider is when you do bends on this guitar, that got really far. Okay, so that's not an issue with choking out on a 7 1/4. Let's check out the higher strings though. So almost, what's it? Going up 4 more frets there. That's good. That's more than I ever been. I've been like a step and a half. Let's see. So that frets out. That one frets out. But it could just be The action is so low. The action is so low on this guitar. It's lower than mine. I would probably relax I'd decrease the tension against the bridge, and that would let these come up a little bit, I bet. And maybe that would resolve the choking out of that note right there. But it's, I thought it was going to choke out a lot sooner on more strings, considering, how low the strings are. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting to know. I'll make a few adjustments here, but that's all player's preference. That's not an issue with build quality or anything like that. So I'm happy with this guitar. I think this is going to be a good one. I'm glad we have 2 of these in the family now, one for me and one for my dad. I hope he enjoys his as much as I've enjoyed mine. And until next time, make every note count.